Some of these teachers are going to be making a big decision for their futures right here with the WFISD, whether they want to go ahead and apply to work for Third Future Schools as a teacher, which Dr. Lee told me yesterday will be conducting interviews, or pick a place to go somewhere else within WFISD. A little tidbit from council this morning: councilors voted unanimously to change an ordinance which automatically names Councilor at Large Mayor Pro Tem. They will now put it to a vote amongst themselves. Councilors, not including the mayor, will vote in the second meeting in December to determine who will assume the role. Well, last week I brought you a story about an uptick in homelessness in Wichita Falls, especially in the downtown area. Faith Mission CEO Steve Sparks and Dr. Lewis Wilson will give counselors a presentation for a homelessness response initiative. More than a year after the death of an instructor pilot at Shepherd Air Force Base, officials with the U.S. Air Force released an incident report detailing what caused the deadly accident. On May 13th of last year, Captain John Robertson died from the injuries he suffered in an ejection seat mishap during a training mission. So if you're out shopping and you're looking at these models, take this mirror for example, that's going to get taxed because it makes the company money. But it's not just the models that get taxed, it's everything else in between. Like for example, everything is going to get taxed, from the computer, the desk, the telephone, even the chair. Well, guys, like you said, a lot of important races here across Wichita Falls, and the at-large probably the biggest one. And I'm sitting here now with Austin Cobb. And Austin, I got to ask you the first question. Was a runoff on your bingo card tonight? All this discussion was really about an hour long, but before they got it, it was the first item on the regular agenda. They actually broke into executive session. Therefore, those discussions that happened behind those closed doors could not have been said outside in regular session. So it's very intimate, if this is something you're planning to do for your Valentine's Day. But we're here, like you kind of mentioned, guys. 2025 Dancing for the Stars, cocktails and kisses. And actually, here comes Jalen right now. Jalen, come over here. Yeah, man.
Sir Judge. Just want to make sure. You seated well? You seated good?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I got my sweetheart here now. And Jalen, just talk about, how that rehearsal has been kind of going so far. The one and only Tobin McDuff joins me now. And Tobin, high school baseball, softball, you got any dingers in there?
Fentanyl continues to be prominent in this community, and over the next few weeks, we're going to bring you stories about the dangers of fentanyl and those affected. Dylan Jimenez spoke with two mothers who lost a child to fentanyl, and he joins us now with our top story. Dylan.
Well, Daryl, it's been over 2 years since Brandy Mello and Sylvia Martinez lost their children, but they continue to carry their children's memories through the advocacy work they do in the community.
Breaking Fentanyl's grip on KFDX is sponsored by Central Plains Center.
I just wish I could hold him one last time.
Kason Villarreal, forever 13.
And I wish I could have done more.
Alize Martinez, forever 19. The weekend of September 17th, 2022 forever changed the lives of parents Brandy Mello and Sylvia Martinez.
It is a total nightmare every single day.
Mello describes her son, Kason, as the light in the room.
If you were sad, you were down, he would cheer you up. He was always doing his little dances, and he's played football ever since he was old enough to play football.
But the light Kason brought faded on September 18th, leaving a hole in Mello's heart forever. On that day, Wichita Falls PD arrived to the scene around 11:30 in the morning. Kason was deceased. A day Brandy says she lives again and again.
I still wake up looking for him. I still go to bed. When I go tell my other son goodnight, I still look for him. I wait for the phone to ring.
She was my best friend.
Martinez found her daughter, Alize. The oldest of 5 siblings is described as a happy soul.
She was the first girl. She was funny and just all over the place all the time. She was always happy.
On September 17th, Martinez entered Alize's room to find her deceased after taking Percocets the night before.
Finding her is forever burned into my memory.
Both mothers still living in the nightmare of losing their child.
I know how bad it gets me down. And I try to do my best to stay in high spirits for the most part, but it's hard every day.
I think by me being able to get up every morning and go to my job at Sober Living and help that next person that walks through those doors, I think that I don't know, so to say, I'm pushing all the grief and the feelings I have about Kason and missing him away, but it just kind of giving back, being able to help someone else, being that light in their life, being that that person that they can lean on.
But through the heartache and grief, the two continue sharing their children's story. The two started Guardians Against Fentanyl, a nonprofit to spread awareness and create a rehabilitation space, wanting families to know they're not alone.
We can raise more awareness. Ever since putting up the page, I've had 7 different families message me not knowing that it has impacted more kids than their children.
It's really important that we share Kaysen and Alizé's story because they were known in this community. Alizé was loved by this community by so many, and Kaysen, he had over almost 2,000 people at his funeral.
But even through the work, the missing puzzle piece in their lives will always be there. Mello and Martinez each wanting to love on their child one more time.
I will keep his memory alive, and I'll never stop saying his name and telling his story. I'm sorry. That's what I would tell him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't save him.
I love and miss you every day. I hate that I couldn't save her.
Now, if you'd like more information about Sober Life or Guardians Against Fentanyl, just click inside the story on our website.
Local dispensaries are breathing a sigh of relief after Governor Greg Abbott vetoed Senate Bill 3. Dylan Jimenez spoke with locals about last night's late news, and he's joining us now with more. Dylan?
Well, Carney, people I spoke to are euphoric about the veto, but remain cautious for the future. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is voicing his frustration with Abbott's decision and is still pushing for a ban. The controversy is over for now.
We were just so happy about it.
Governor Greg Abbott vetoed Senate Bill 3 with less than 1 hour before the Sunday night deadline. The legislation would have banned THC consumable products.
It's a very big win.
A relief for local dispensary Texas Cannabis Company.
We're kind of just like riding the waves right now because we're, euphoric about what happened.
Co-owner David Sanchez's customers echoing his sentiment.
The funnest, safer way to do it. I could just walk down here instead of have to call somebody.
Even one who uses to treat sciatic nerve problems in a disc in his back.
And I can't get insurance. I tried alcohol for about 35 years, and I can guarantee you that is not the way to go.
But while some celebrate the win, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick voiced frustrations with Abbott's decision.
It puzzles me. The governor of the state of Texas wants to legalize recreational marijuana.
In a news conference, reporters asked Patrick about potential regulations like the state has on alcohol and tobacco.
I'm staying with the ban.
But Sanchez hopes for common sense regulations.
It's proven to work in those industries. So if they just do the same thing in this industry, then, we can be around responsibly.
For now, dispensaries across Texas are safe, but a special session awaits as Abbott asks lawmakers to tackle the issue yet again. Lawmakers will report back for the special session on July 21st. Our Capitol correspondent Adam Schwager will bring you more from Patrick's conference tonight at 10.
All right, Dylan. Well, thank you so much for bringing us that story.
Demonstrators filled downtown Wichita Falls this afternoon. The crowd protests the recent immigration crackdown across the country and in the state of Texas. Here's a look at today's protest.
We're speaking for people that can't speak.
Demonstrators gather in downtown Wichita Falls to protest the recent immigration crackdown across the nation. It started small, then grew on the corner of 8th and Scott. Protester Jasenia Pando says recent rhetoric on immigration is what sparked the protest.
We're out here fighting for our families, friends, anybody and everybody. More people have been more vocal about racist factors, and ICE is a big deal. Immigration, going after people, hardworking people that have families that have been here for decades.
The protest began around 3. About an hour later, a walk began down Scott. Protesters turned down 10th Street, which came to a small halt. Police stopping a protester, then chants broke out. He was detained and placed in a squad car. Police later said the detainment was not related to the protests. The walk resumed down Indiana and back on Scott again. Police asked protesters at that point to remain on the sidewalk.
We are tired of being called criminals. We are working people. We come to work and earn by sweating our luck. If you are a thinking man, I think you will understand this situation.
We have a big population here in Wichita Falls, and a lot of our schools have a lot of Spanish-speaking students that are scared, and we need to make it aware that it isn't right if immigration goes into our schools or goes anywhere, that people are here to learn and work.
Aside from the one detainment, the protests remained peaceful. Officers remained on scene directing traffic as needed. Many exercised their voice in downtown Wichita Falls.
Boxing isn't just a combat sport among the Hispanic culture.
Yeah, it's a source of pride and helps shape the identity for many countries, too.
Now, to wrap up our month-long series of special reports on Hispanic heritage, Dylan Jimenez shows us how for 3 local professional fighters, the sport is not just their job, it's a lifestyle and a passion.
It's a 16 by 24 feet square ring.
It's heartwarming. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Before Emmanuel Carrillo, Emmanuel Moreno, and Eusebio Maldonado, it's home.
I used to always watch different highlights, different videos of boxers I grew up watching and looked up to, and now I'm doing what they used to do.
Chavez, Mayweather, Canelo, and others.
Really, all I think about is fighting whenever I hear boxing.
Those dreams of championship nights are now true for 3 of Wichita Falls' very own, fighting at a rival boxing gym, Fallstown.
It's just a dream, man. Just something that, you know, I've always wanted to accomplish. Just, you know, seeing myself, seeing the fam, you know, seeing my family, you know, watch me on TV. You know, I have my little cousins that, you know, to this day, they're still watching my first pro fight.
For Moreno and Carrillo, it's been in their blood since their youth, fighting numerous amateur fights, winning multiple tournaments along the way.
What you give is what you're gonna get, and you know, in boxing you gotta be dedicated.
Maldonado stumbled into the gym with a friend. Once he put on the gloves and hit his first bag, he never stopped showing up.
Truly never thought that I'd be here, and I'm glad that I'm here with them, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to do this with nobody else.
Over the years, Maldonado and Carrillo crafting their style of being a Mexican brawler.
That's what I like doing. I like putting on a show.
Every time somebody tells me I'm tough, I'm like, man, you're tough. You know what I mean?
While Moreno floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee.
I like to hit a move, stay slick, make it look pretty.
But the gym isn't just crafting their next pro fighter. The trio describes the atmosphere as family-oriented, seeing everybody who puts on the gloves grow in life.
We try to keep each other in check. We try to keep each other disciplined, and, you know, with a straight mind. So, you know, just that we take, it ain't just all about boxing.
I feel like this sport really humbles you. It teaches you to, you know, think about what you do before you do it.
Breeding life lessons through sport as these undefeated fighters share their brotherhood between the ropes.
This sport teaches you to be sympathetic and also competitive. Like I feel like a lot of people are losing their competitiveness. This is probably the most competitive sport there is.
I have memories that I'm making right now that I'll take for the rest of my life, that I'll be able to one day, you know, tell my kids. It's, you know, trying to keep each other straight and just try to build a future for everybody.
For Hispanic Heritage Month, I'm Dylan Jimenez.
Wow, all 3 are going to put their undefeated record on the line next month. It's coming up on November 9th at Fire Lake Arena in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And if you'd like more on the fights, all you have to do is head over to TexHomeHomepage.com.
And best of luck to them, too, when that day comes.
For sure. I hope they all win.
I do, too.